And welcome to another edition of the Vic State Cricket Podcast. I'm Adam White, and we've got a big show coming up, a very interesting show. Our special guest a little bit later on will be Bob Quiney to talk about his career, 5-time Shield winning champion with the Vics, and a very good story to tell as well. But I have got Matt Short with me. Matt, fresh from, a couple of games down in Tassie, one in Launceston with the One Day Cup, and obviously the Shield game in Hobart. Welcome.
Thanks, mate. Good to be back.
A win and a draw. A successful time?
I guess so. Better than a couple of losses, I guess.
Yeah, true.
But it's always good to get a win in the one day. Got a little bit close in the end, but the boys did a good job. And an interesting game down in Hobart there in the Shield game. Another draw, so it's on 3 now. So hopefully up in Brisbane next week we can get the win.
Yes. Now we're really excited because our special guest is someone that made his debut, and he's very much the talk of the town at the moment. When I speak of Ash Chandrasinghe, who made his debut, and what a debut it was. Before we introduce him, what were your thoughts on what you saw? He batted for about 16 days and no one was ever going to get him out.
Yeah, obviously haven't seen much of him play before, but obviously going off his last innings in the second 11 up in New South Wales, I think it was, where he batted for a couple of days there with Will Pukovski. I thought it'd be perfect for the conditions down in Hobart, and it was just unreal. To go down there, especially, a batsman's nightmare. Sent in on day one, batting at 3. It was probably one of the better innings I've seen.
Now, Ash has been doing Media Street. He's just come from a massive press conference. It was Channel 9, Channel 7 there, the cameras everywhere, and he's up with us now. Ash, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, happy to be here.
What was it like doing... No, don't worry about the cricket. What was it like doing the interview and all the cameras on you and having to answer all the tough questions?
It was a little bit different. Obviously, something I haven't done before, but a bit of attention. It's pretty nice, but I just ride it out, I guess.
Now, something that isn't different to you is making runs and batting a long time, and feels weird talking to you because I just watched you on my phone or the laptop for about 2 days batting, making it look incredibly easy. Was it easy?
No, definitely not. I think after I spent maybe an hour at the crease, I realised, how sort of first-class cricket sort of operates, and you got to really, earn your runs. I got off the mark at the first ball, which was pretty nice. But then to get to my second run took a long time. But pretty happy I got through it, and got through the end. Jackson
Bird, Peter Siddle, Riley Meredith, just to name 3, as Matt said, on bowler-friendly conditions on day one. When did it get to a point where you thought, I'm actually going okay here, I might be up to this sort of challenge?
It is pretty interesting because, you sort of see those sort of guys growing up, and you watch their run-ups and action from behind on the TV, and then facing it from the front's pretty, it's pretty interesting. It's a really nice sort of moment. I think until maybe I got to after stumps on day one, I thought, I'm actually going okay here, and batting with Pete as well, that was an exceptional experience. He knows his stuff, and I think that's when I sort of felt like I was going okay after day one.
Matt, what was the thing that impressed you the most watching from the change rooms, but even just seeing him before play preparation-wise and after his innings? What was the thing that stood out to you?
Oh, just the way he went about it. It's almost like he'd played 50, 80 games of Shield cricket. He slotted in perfectly. Didn't really seem fazed by any of the the cap presentation or the whole hype of his first game. It's sort of like he just went straight in, went about his business, and even with his batting, I think just stuck to his guns. Obviously, his defence is second to none, and then he's got his 2 or 3 scoring shots, which he obviously played pretty well, and just waited patiently. It's probably the most patient innings I've ever seen firsthand. So. It's a huge credit to him.
Ash, your background is an interesting one in the sense that where you've just stepped through the grades, dominating each grade you've gone through, whether it be Premier Cricket, second 11 cricket that we talked about, going up and making a truckload of runs in Darwin. Does that give you confidence that when you get to the next level that you've got that foundation behind you?
Definitely. I think sort of getting some runs under your belt and lots of games under my belt while I was in Darwin sort of gives you some confidence coming into this season. I guess it may be a bit of an edge as well, having that we haven't been able to play over here. But yeah, definitely some confidence coming on from getting some runs beforehand, and I was pretty happy with how it sort of helped me come through.
Talk us through the pathway program that you've gone through. Obviously, South Melbourne or Casey South Melbourne, but even before then, your junior cricket. Have you always been someone that loves to occupy the crease and just bat a long time?
Yeah, definitely. My batting coach, Owen Mathau, he's sort of big on occupying the crease.
He's a bit of a tyrant. He expects big things from you.
Yeah, a little bit. He's huge on but he always tells me you can't score runs if you're not out there in the middle. Yeah. So I've sort of been drilled by that, and yeah, sort of always been sort of that way in the junior sort of pathways, which was a little bit of a handful, especially with most of it being white ball sort of cricket. So I've had to sort of try different ways to find scoring options, and I'm pretty happy that sort of got to spend a lot of time out in the second 11 red ball games, and happy to spend some time in the debut as well.
Now the pressure of expectation rises even further. You had pressure on you before you played a game, and then you've gone and answered that in the best possible way. How are you going to cope now?
I guess there is sort of a bit more attention on myself, but I think you got to sort of just stick to your own processes and stick to your own plans as well, and pre-game, post-game sort of stuff. Just keeping the consistency going, and just try not to change too much and putting pressure on yourself.
Well, congratulations. It was great to see. It was really enjoyable to watch high-quality batting against high-quality bowling. It happens again next week. You've got Steckity, you've got, who else? Nisa. Yeah. It's a bit scary to think about it after the Gabba, but I reckon you might go okay based on what happened in Tassie. Go well again, and fantastic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Ash Chandrasinghe joining us on the Vic Cricket Podcast. Next, you got to stay here because we've got our special guest, Bob Quiney, next. A former Test player, played for Victoria for well over a decade, and he's got a great story to tell. That's next.